This set costs $55 US. That is insane. But Lego Marvel wasn't always this pricey. Today I'm going to review the set, tell you why it's definitely not worth $55 and explain how the set isn't a unique issue, but rather symptomatic for a bigger problem with Lego superheroes. Let's get into it. 76292, the Captain America vs. Red Hulk battle, released in December of last year, as mentioned, full retail price of $55 US. In total, we're looking at a piece count of 223 pieces here. Now, I'm not a fan of the price per piece way of assessing a set's value, as explained in the video in the annotations, but with 223 pieces and a retail price of $55, we're looking at a price per piece of 25 cents here. That is absolutely ludicrous. We will get to the build in a minute, but let us start with the minifigures. The selection in the set consists of Captain America, the new Falcon, Ruth Beth-Saraph, and our first Red Hulk big fig in 7 years. Thaddeus Ross's superhero persona, Red Hulk, will obviously make his first appearance in the new Captain America movie, which is why Lego finally decided to bring this character back too. This figure is designed in the new style of Lego Big Figs, meaning that the head is removable and on the back you've got the 4 studs. Overall, this figure is pretty decent. The face looks quite good, and while they could have made the size of his hair a little more grey, similar to Doctor Strange's hair, it's nothing too serious, especially given that it's a huge improvement from 2017's Red Hulk. Now we get into the tricky territory though with Sam Wilson as Captain America. This figure could never have lived up to its CMF pendant, but I still think they did a decent job, aside from one major aspect. Speaking on the better parts first, the torso printing is amazing and possibly the best we've ever seen on a Captain America figure. Similarly, the helmet is great, and I love that you can switch from his fully covered face to the partially exposed one. Dual molding on the legs is cool too, but now I gotta say, these wings suck. The ones from the CMF were perfect, matching the in-universe look while being slim and not making the figure way too bulky. Yeah, I guess having one more point of articulation is nice, but the other one is still miles better. And while we're at it, why is the shield wrong? We've gotten the correct shield not once, but twice in the CMF, so why give us Steve's version and not the accurate Sam Wilson one? It's so disappointing. Speaking of disappointments, the new Falcon appears in this set as well. This figure isn't horrible, but it's just such a bland minifigure built up around such a great torso. Like, the torso is genuinely beautiful, but the wings are even worse than Sam's. There's no leg printing whatsoever, and most of the amazing head print is covered by this boring helmet. But somehow it's not the worst figure of this set. Again, Ruth Beth-Saraph isn't the worst figure I've ever laid my eyes on, but it sure as shit is one of the most boring. I gotta give it to them, she has some minuscule leg printing, but I don't even know what I'm looking at with her torso. The plain Black Widow-y face is also not doing this minifig any good, and I've not even gotten into the controversy around this character. That is a whole nother topic for a video that isn't about Lego, but I just want you to know that this character's superhero alias is Sabura, and she would have been named that in the movie too before they changed it because of the immense amount of backlash it got. If you want to know why even just that name is controversial, look up the Sabura and Shatila massacre of 1962. But this is about Lego, not about politics, and frankly, for $55, and the jet we'll look at in a second, I would have hoped for more. Red Hulk is great, Cap is decent, but the other two figures are just so bland and boring. A mediocre figure selection wouldn't be the end of the world though if the build was able to carry its weight at least, but oh boy, this is a $20 build at best. First of all, don't do fighter jets if your brand identity doesn't allow you to do fighter jets. Like, I've not watched the movie yet, but I gotta imagine there was a better choice than this. Don't get me wrong, this isn't an inherently bad build, it's just the context that makes this look horrible. You get a total of 2 play features in the set, as well as an opening cockpit. To each side, Lego provides us with 1 stud shooter, and behind the cockpit there's this hatch. First instinct might be to swing it open, but there actually aren't any hinges on here, so you have to simply pull the thing off. Inside, there's a little safe containing what seems to be some metal bars. I've not watched the movie yet, as mentioned, but I assume it's vibranium or some other form of rare resource. The handle might make you think there's a place you can attach this to, but nah, it's just here for funsies. As I previously said, you can open the cockpit as well, and it provides more than enough interior space for a single figure, with even some sticker details in the front. Closing it isn't an issue either, and whether you believe it or not, that pretty much covers the entire set. Now, this isn't a bad build like with some other sets. Would this have been released under Ninjago, or hell, even a comic branded Marvel set, I wouldn't have batted an eye. But for the 4th Captain America movie, given the greatness there was the Civil War wave, and for a retail price of $55 US, this is horrendous. As I mentioned though, this is a symptomatic problem. Both Lego superhero themes have seen wild price spikes over the last few years, the sequence of which growing ever closer. Just to give you 2 examples from last year, excluding this one. The X-Men X-Jet and Batman with the Batmobile vs Harley Quinn and Mr. Freeze. These are just 2 examples from last year, and within the barely 2 months it's been in 2025, Lego has already released 2 more and announced another one fitting perfectly into this category. The Batman Tumbler vs Two-Face and the Joker, Miles Morales vs the Spot, and Iron Man's Laboratory Hall of Armor. I can't explain these extreme weird spikes we're seeing here. I'm someone that buys Star Wars sets and not even we're getting beaten down this badly by prices. I just wanted to show that this isn't a unique endemic problem, but rather just a symptom of a larger issue creeping through the superhero themes in the past few years, which gets more and more prevalent with time. What you know now though is only a very small percentile of Lego's current struggle with pricing. For the full picture, I'd recommend you watch this video now, and until next time, goodbye.